Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Charlie. On today's episode, I'm going to be showing y'all how to make my delicious New Orleans style shrimp soup. Now, this consists of shrimp tails and angel hair pasta, which is cooked down in a concentrated and well seasoned shrimp stock, which we've taken the shrimp heads and shells from the shrimp tails, along with our seasonings, rice cooking wine, and soy sauce. This recipe, you can get about 8 to 10 servings. It's full of shrimp flavor, has just the right amount of seasoning. It's perfect for those fall or winter months, but it's absolutely delicious. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, here's all what you'll need to make your New Orleans style shrimp soup. Let's get started with our ingredients. You will need 3 pounds of small Louisiana shrimp, and along with that you will need some soy sauce, sweet rice cooking wine. You can use any type of pasta. I'm going to be using angel hair pasta. And for your seasonings, you will need some green onions, celery, green bell pepper, garlic. And for your additional seasonings, you will need some salt, black pepper, Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. Now, if you don't have this, you can use the Zatarain's Creole seasoning or the Slap Your Mama Cajun seasoning. You will also need some Chef Paul Prudhomme's Seafood Magic, some dried parsley, and some freeze-dried chives. And there we have it. Alright, let's get straight to it. So I'm going to get started by chopping up a bunch of green onions. This is about 4 ounces in weight. And I'm going to chop the ends to the green onions as well. Next, I'm going to rinse off my celery and my green bell pepper off with cold water. Next, I'm going to chop 2 ribs of celery. And as you can see here, I'm chopping them into medium-sized chunks. Next, I'm going to chop half of a green bell pepper. The same procedure as what I did with the celery. I'm going to chop this up into medium-sized pieces. Here I have 2 cloves of garlic. I cut them in half. Here I have a garlic press. I'm going to press the garlic. And there you go. Okay, let's get started with our shrimp. So here we have a shrimp. We're going to remove the head off. I'm going to place that into this bowl over here. And next we're going to peel the shrimp shell off of the shrimp tail. And from there, once I remove all the shells off the shrimp tail, I'm going to place it into this bowl over here with all the shrimp heads and shells. And from there, I'm going to take the shrimp tail and place that into a separate bowl. Okay, let's devein our shrimp. So here I have a shrimp tail, and I'm going to take a sharp serrated knife, and I'm just going to carefully cut out the back of the shrimp. If there's anything in the shrimp's digestive tract, you just pull that out. And after that, just take the shrimp tail and place that into this bowl over here. I've placed my shrimp tails into this strainer, and I'm going to rinse the shrimp tails off with cold water. And from there, you're going to place this into your refrigerator until the shrimp tails are ready to be cooked.
Preheat your fire to medium heat.
Alright, let's get started with cooking our pasta. So I want to let you know that you can use any other type of pasta for this recipe. But you also want to keep in mind that cooking times vary depending on the type of pasta, your pot, and your stove setting. Okay? So in this large 8-quart pot, I've added 4 quarts of water, and to that I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of salt. Give this a quick stir, and from there I'm going to let this come up to a simmer. Alright, our mixture is at a simmer now. I'm going to add my angel hair pasta. I'm just going to break it up and drop it on in there. I'm adding the entire package of the angel hair pasta right on in there. Give this a quick stir. Let this simmer for 4 minutes, stirring occasionally. Alright, it's been about 4 minutes now, and our pasta is done. You want to make sure that you take a fork to taste test your pasta to see if it's at your desired texture, and that it is done, of course.
Now I'm going to go ahead and turn my fire off.
Add your pasta into this mesh strainer. Be very careful because it is hot. I'm not going to rinse off the pasta or anything. I'm just going to leave it in the strainer as is. But if you want to rinse it off, you can. And I'm just going to let this sit in here until we're ready to add it into the soup.
Preheat your fire to medium heat.
Alright, let's get started with making our shrimp soup base. So in this large 8-quart pot, I've added 3 1/2 quarts of water. We're going to start with adding the seasonings. You're going to add the chopped green onion, just add all of it right on in there. The chopped celery, same thing, add it in there. The chopped green bell pepper, add that in there. And the 2 cloves of chopped or pressed garlic, add that in there. Okay, next we're going to add 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1/4 cup of sweet rice cooking wine, and for our additional seasoning, I'm going to add 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning, 1 teaspoon of Chef Paul Prud'homme's Seafood Magic, 2 teaspoons of dried parsley, 1 tablespoon of freeze-dried chives, and lastly the shrimp heads and shells. Stir all your ingredients together. Now I'm going to cover this. I'm going to cover it just half so that way some of the steam can escape. Let this simmer for 45 minutes. Alright, it's been about 45 minutes now, and our shrimp soup base is now ready.
Now I'm going to go ahead and turn my fire off.
Here I have a large mesh strainer with a large bowl underneath it. I'm going to pour the shrimp soup base along with all the seasonings, the shrimp heads and shells. I'm just going to add that all into the mesh strainer. From there, I'm going to pick the mesh strainer up and give it a quick shake. This is going to allow for some of the shrimp soup base to drain into the large bowl. And from there, you can discard all the contents left over in the mesh strainer. And once done, you should have about 2 1/2 quarts of the shrimp soup base left over.
Preheat your fire to medium heat.
Alright, let's get started with assembling our shrimp soup. So in this large 8-quart pot, we're going to add our shrimp soup base. We're just going to pour that right on in there. Now you want to also take a spoon and give this a taste to see if it's at your desired taste. If not, you can add more seasoning. I'm going to add a little bit more soy sauce, about a tablespoon of that. I'm also going to add 2 teaspoons of the sweet rice cooking wine and an additional 1 teaspoon of salt. And from there, I'm going to give this a quick stir. I'm going to let this get hot for about 5 to 6 minutes. I'm going to add the shrimp tails right on in there. Now I want to let you all know that cooking times for the shrimp tails vary depending on the size of the shrimp, the pot, the amount of liquid that you're simmering the shrimp in, and your stove. All that plays a role in the cooking time for the shrimp. Okay? And from there, I'm going to give this a quick stir. And from there, I'm just going to let this simmer for about 3 to 4 minutes, stirring occasionally. Add the contents of the spaghetti. I'm just going to add that in there. And from there, I'm going to give this a quick stir. And from there, our homemade shrimp soup is now done.
Now I'm going to go ahead and turn my fire off.
Now for some quick tips. Wait about 30 minutes to an hour before serving. Also, don't let this sit out for too long. So you're going to let this cool until it reaches a temperature of 120 degrees Fahrenheit. And then from there, you can place it into your refrigerator. And for best results, you can serve this the very next day so that way the flavors can settle and increase overnight. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, how to make New Orleans style shrimp soup made by a New Orleans native. You can find this recipe along with all of my other recipes. Go to www.charliethecookandrews.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter under the name Charlie the Cook Andrews. Alright, now let's go ahead and try this and see how it tastes. Oh my goodness. Mm. Ooh. Man, when I tell y'all I put my foot in this, oh my goodness. The flavor is outstanding. It has a wonderful shrimp flavor. It's like a combination of pho and the shrimp that you would get, the top ramen with the little packet of shrimp, the shrimp flavor. That's what this is like. It tastes like a combination of both. It is really, really flavorful and delicious. Just the right amount of seasoning, not overly powering at all. And also has a little slight sweetness to it from the rice cooking wine. I mean, y'all, this is outstandingly delicious. Mm, mm, mm. So, give the recipe a try. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, have a good one. Peace.